Okay, viewers, this is Dr. VOND, Dr. James VOND, and it's still the 7th of November 2025, a Friday, and right now I'm back home, or if I can really call it home. It's supported housing to be precise, which isn't my own place, of course, and it's a room like this to myself for the homeless, that is. And anyway, in my last video, I was at Warwick University, and I gave you a balcony view as well at the bar. Not quite Jack Lord, Steve McGarrett, as in Hawaii Five-O. Not obviously a balcony scene like that, but some sort of balcony scene anyway. And the late Steve McGarrett, that is Jack Lord, to be precise. And obviously he goes around and gives a twirl. Remember that scene at the balcony, a very famous scene? Wi-Fi. Did you used to watch that? Maybe a long time ago. Maybe, I don't know. If my viewers are that old, obviously they would obviously remember that. But I was also mentioning a reference to two of my favorite classic movies, and a kind of a comical classic movie as well. North by Northwest movie, 1959 movie, Hollywood movie starring the late Cary Grant and Eva Marie Saint. Excellent acting performances there, and also the late James Mason in that movie, and directed by Alfred Hitchcock, of course. And the other movie is Memoirs of the Invisible Man, a 1992 movie, a Hollywood movie, starring Chevy Chase and Daryl Hannah, as well as Sam Neill, for instance, those prominent actors. And I made reference to them as well whilst I was there at Warwick University. And also that's a 1992 movie, The Memoirs of the Invisible Man. And obviously that was during the time I was a student there at the university, and obviously when I was attending there. And it does remind me of that building, the Magnuscopics building, where he was rendered invisible. That's Nick Holloway, the character played by Chevy Chase. He's rendered invisible, and obviously it's science fiction, but it's still kind of comical as well as sometimes a bit humorous in some ways. And so he was rendered invisible and on the run kind of thing, just like in the North by Northwest movie that starred late Cary Grant, and he was obviously on the run as well. A thriller kind of in that sense, and not so necessarily comical, but there were comical elements in that. For instance, when he jumps in the bedroom window and there's a woman lying there, and he says, don't get that idea, that was quite amusing as well as quite a few other scenes as well. I like that scene especially when he's in the train cabin, and then obviously he's taking stay there at in the cabin luggage area of that woman, Eva Marie Saint, who's kindly let him in the room and let him stay there. Of course, a wanted fugitive, and I like the scene when he says, "Come away, you're so good to me." He says that to Eva Marie Saint, and then she says, "You want me to climb up and tell you?" That's my favourite scene as well. I like that as well. Obviously, there's not much space there for the poor guy, and on the run as well, and you could just, barely get in that train cabin compartment for the luggage. I think it's a sleeper cabin. That's what you sleep in, and he's in that. So that was quite amusing as well. And regarding the Memoirs movie as well, the Memoirs of the Invisible Man, 1992 movie, I also like that scene when he's actually at his club, and he's on the pool table, or is it snooker table, and he's lying down taking a nap, resting. And he has nightmares during the night. He can't sleep. He mentions that, and then and Sam Neill's there as well, watching as well, or something in his dreams, obviously his nightmares. And in that scene, interesting, the janitor, that's what they call them, the cleaner over here in the UK, the janitors, was cleaning the room, and maybe he's done a bit over cleaning, clean his balls and dick off, in fact, rendered his balls and dick invisible. Remember that scene? And then Sam O'Neill jumps in and says, "Looking for something, Nick?" Obviously, he wants his balls and dick back, innit? And the cleaners went too cleaning, innit? It's filthy clean, eh? To that extent, eh? Wiped his balls and dick off completely, eh? Or, dropped his balls and dick off, eh? Uh, that's a very amusing film scene, obviously, and that's I like that bit. That's very realistic, obviously, but that's probably what happened to him, innit? The cleaner was too thorough, wasn't it? Maybe too much cleaning, hey? So clean, sanctimonious pricks or something, eh? That he was, not really a man anymore, was it? His manhood had gone as well, innit? In that sense, eh? And then obviously, who could save him, eh? And obviously, it's Sam O'Neill, innit? Looking for something, Nick? And that's his worst nightmare, isn't it? He's on the run, and we could go to Frontierland, Disneyland, that sort of thing, eh? A time of his life, eh? But don't forget, Sam O'Neill has played other kind of, ruthless characters in the past. If you can recall, Omian characters, satanic characters, maybe these people are kind of sadomasochists, those sort of people, Oh, and talk about vixens, eh? So where's the pleasure then, eh? There's too much cleaning going on, innit? Filthy clean action, eh? You'll all end up like sanctimonious pricks out there, rendered invisible like that, eh? Like Nick Holloway. I'm kind of like that, don't you think so? I've been rendered almost invisible like that, Maybe there's been too much cleaning going on, eh? With me as well, eh? Especially in those parts, below the belt areas, eh? You'll be turning them into nuns on the run, innit? Almost sisters and nuns, eh? Oh. So obviously, Eva was the best. He's CIA agent, obviously, but working undercover and almost exposed during his activity, where he gets involved. Obviously, the advertising man, that's Cary Grant, with ex-wives and etc. People dependent on him in shops, etc. And all I can say is she is very good to him, and especially on the train as well. She harbored him from trouble when they were after him, and also even lent him a room space in it to live and sleep in his cabin, in her cabin, and she was even willing to climb up to him in the cabin, and she even tipped them $5 just to be sitting next to him. That's the extent she went to, A really, really good sort of person, isn't it? Tell me why you ain't so good to me. And obviously he wasn't Jack Phillips of Western Electronics. He was Roger Fowler and wanted for murder. And on the front page of every US newspaper, especially for fame for that murder at the UN and also that drunk driving incident. So she was his saviour, end of the day. That's Eva Marie Saint. Interestingly, out of those Hollywood actresses, the ones that lived the least were people like Marilyn Monroe, that blonde actress, very famous. She died quite young, and only at the age of 36. And others such as Grace Kelly, who died in a car accident, famous American actress, married to a royal as well in Europe, and she had a car accident and died at 52. And Audrey Hepburn, interestingly, didn't live that long either. She died quite youngish at 63. So I thought I'd mention them as well because they were quite famous as well, actresses. Obviously, Doris Day topping the list, living up to 97, and obviously Eva Marie Saint. Obviously, she's still living presence, but that's brilliance there, of course, and other actors. And Honor Blackman, remember her, Pussy Galore, in James Bond Goldfinger movie. She died as well recently as well. I think 2020 or something. I think she got to around 94, which isn't too bad, is it? But not as long as the others, some of the others. But that's still quite high, isn't it? And Angela Lansbury, she's one of the second highest as well on the list, living in above 94, 90, I think it's around 96 or something, isn't it? So a bit less than Doris Day, but almost that much. Okay, I'll end this video now, and just remember that film. Don't do heavy cleaning. We want our balls and dick back. There'll be a sanctimonious, prick out there, and people like me. Obviously I don't stand a chance then, innit? That's my manhood, innit? If you're doing that, and it is the visible man then, innit? And then that someone new guy is gonna say, looking for something, Nick?